Hello, everyone, and welcome back to. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Love, here at your AEW Dynamite review for February 1st, 2023 edition. Here on the podcast, I have to say that AEW is putting together a really nice string of momentum the last few weeks, putting on very good editions of Dynamite, and that's what we like to see. Consistency. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you want to see consistently good episodes throughout, leading into with good wrestling, good storylines up until pay-per-views when they basically the storylines are supposed to culminate, if not further. Anyways, Dynamite on Wednesday was another very good edition with I'd say very cringy in a good way. Cringy in a good way, but at the same time, very brutal, very violent, no holds barred match between Darby Allin and Samoa Joe in the main event for the TNT title. Wardlow we saw returned after that, in which now he has a haircut and he looks weirdly different. And where this goes, I don't know. Look, Wardlow, we know the drill. He was on his great string of momentum coming out of the feud with MJF. He won the TNT title. They didn't do crap with him. Barely at all. I mean, dude, have some nice string of matches, couple weeks, and then he's off. And then he's barely doing anything. I mean, he went from, how do you put this? He went from that match with MJF at Double or Nothing to teaming with FTR versus Jade Lethal and not the Briscoes, Motor City Machine Guns. It was reportedly supposed to be the Briscoes, but Motor City Machine Guns. Now, I love the Motor City Machine Guns. Been watching them ever since TNA, and they're one of my favorite tag teams of all time. But the way that match was just stymied together, playing the last minute, did not help. And then, not only that, at Full Gear, it was Wardlow versus Hobbs versus Samoa Joe, which on paper is a good match, very good match, but the story behind it did not help. Anyways, good to see Wardlow back, but again, how did they manage him? That's the big criteria, the big issue. We'll see. But nonetheless, thank you guys for joining me. If you're new to podcasts and you want to see more pro wrestling reviews on the channel, AEW, etc., find them on the channel. And yeah, like and or subscribe. one thing, actually two things, I want to touch up upon before I get into the review. First of all, thoughts and prayers out to the family of Lanny Poffo, the brother of legendary Macho Man Randy Savage. Lenny, though, was a very interesting character in his own right in WWF. I mean, but nonetheless, at least both those two are together again. That brotherhood, looking down on us now. It's unfortunate looking at it. 68 is a bit too soon. I mean, he looked healthy shape. I looked to be, but yeah, thoughts and prayers out with the family and those affected by his passing. Nothing. AEW announced that they will be running live events starting in March. So that's a huge thing in and of itself. AEW going on the road, and this can really help benefit them, because we know how AEW with their time, because they only really have 3 hours on TV each week. They have 2 hours of Dynamite, 1 hour of Rampage, which in and of itself I think should be 2 hours for one. I mean, but nonetheless, they only have 3 hours, and pretty much everything else is put on ice or put on their dark shows or YouTube shows rather, and it's not a good assortment of the roster, because we know how thorough the roster is. So I mean, these live events can really take shape in helping some of these guys and women get more time to further their craft, further possible storylines, and get their dues in front of crowds, and to help benefit them, and to probably get more TV time as well. But we'll see. They called it AEW House Rules, so see where it goes from here. But the way it seems so far, big up. Now let's get into the review now, shall we? Alright, here we go. So, AEW Dynamite started off in grand fashion. As we got Jon Moxley, who first of all came out with his dad. And Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta in his entrance. So that was a nice touch there. And originally they brawled at ringside before the bell. They fought into the crowd. Then once they got back from ringside, Hangman threw a chair in Moxley's face. Hit a suplex on Mox on the chair on the outside. Back and forth. Then cut into the ring off the top rope. Hangman hits a Death Alley driver off the top for a near fall. Moxley looked like he went for almost a guillotine choke off the top, kind of the way he was holding Hangman. Like, either way, it was like a headlock, front face lock suplex off the top. Nice little deal for a 2 count. Then once Hangman out, kicked out, Moxley immediately went for the elbows to the head of Hangman. Hangman fired back. He went for the moonsault, which can be kind of scary, especially with the way he lands. So he went for a moonsault off the top on the outside. Moxley got out of the way, hit a big lariat. Page actually hit a pop-up powerbomb onto Mox through the timekeeper's table. Mox got back in the ring at 9. Hangman hit a deadeye on Moxley for a near fall. Towards the end, the spots here kind of made it a bit suspect. I mean, first of all that, then a bit much. Then Hangman hit a tombstone pile driver, followed with a buckshot lariat. Moxley kicks out. That's suspect. Hangman then locked on a bulldog choke. Moxley's finish. Mox then stacked up Hangman, rolled him up for a surprise victory, 1-2-3. And Moxley wins in this third match for Hangman. Good stuff. We got a bit of a promo backstage, hyping up Darby Allin for Samoa Joe. Main event. Good stuff here. Can't complain. One sec. This might help. Better. Yeah, better. So then we got... Okay, now we're back. Okay, there we go. So we got Jamie Hayter and the Bunny backstage. The Bunny challenged Jamie Hayter for a eliminator match next week. And Jamie Hayter accepted, and then right on the monitor, right in the back, Britt Baker was getting beat up by Saraya and Tony Storm. And Hater stormed to the area, so there was or Hater, I should say. Saraya and Tony Storm as heels now. I mean, that it's almost a weird dynamic just for me, but it feels a bit refreshing in a sense. The Acclaimed versus two guys that Max Caster said best in his rap. Two guys looking like they're on a midlife crisis. I mean, no offense to those guys, but what the heck? Just what the heck? Anyways, feel bad for these guys. To claim the win, mic drop, the arrival, 1, 2, 3. There's that. Billy Gunn's sons, the Gun Club, or the Guns, whichever they're called now, Austin and Colton, they come out and okay, good. TV's on mute. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so Austin and Colton came out to confront the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. And Colton spoke how last week in the therapy session, what will make them happy is the AEW World Tag Team titles. So they wanted an answer, and he claims that since they're the champions of the people, they'll let them decide, and they spoke in unison loudly no. So they got into each other's faces. Bill Gunn basically has had enough of this. He stormed off to the back. So Austin basically poked the bear that is his father. Said, well, okay, do what you did when we were kids and turn your back on us. Bill again stopped for a sec and then began walking again to the back. And then Austin, the audacity telling Billy, do what you used to when we were kids and drown your sorrows at the bottom of a pill bottle. And that obviously struck a nerve with Billy. He stormed back, got in his son's face, and he said, well, you guys got your big boy pants on. Well, let's see next week if you guys have it. And said, you got your shots at titles next week. After another failed mic for AEW, we got a tag team title match for next week. Gonna be fun. The Guns versus the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed, we know, are great. The Guns have been on the come up for years now and years. So, you know, if, and we're assuming, if Billy Gunn turns on the Acclaimed, sides with his sons again, and basically awards them the tag team titles next week, and all three get major heat for it, everyone's gonna benefit. I think everyone is gonna benefit. So look, the Guns, I think, are very, very good. I think, you know, I don't see them as dominant tag team champions. I see them having a solid reign, though. You know, the Acclaimed have had the title since October, which has been about, 4 months. So, I mean, although with the Acclaim, they've kind of taken a dip in momentum as of late. So, with FTR kind of on hiatus, give it a vacation. Top Flight on the come up. This can probably benefit really the tag team division as a whole, because the Acclaimed, they can be back on the chase. FTR can be back in a while. Top Flight I just mentioned. I still don't know why 2.0 are not being included in this tag team division, but it is what it is. The Young Bucks, they can still be a part. The Lucha Brothers, there are still added pieces in this tag team division that can really make it fun and exciting. So we shall see. Jungle Boy Jack Perry was backstage. Was asked about his future. He said while he's appreciated his team in Hook, he said that goal for him, Jack Perry, is for this year to have gold again. And he knows what it's like as a tag team, but he wants gold as a solo. So right off the bat, Samoa Joe versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry would be a great feud, I think. A great feud. I don't know about MJF. I mean, it's certainly a possibility, and we know both are very good, very young. Not too sure yet. I only say that because I'm looking at, MJF is going to beat Bryan Danielson at Revolution. And then, the way it appears, the winner of this Hangman Moxley feud, which I'm assuming Hangman will go off to face MJF next for the title. And will culminate at Double or Nothing. So then, as we gear towards All Out, maybe MJ or Jungle Boy, Rick Perry, maybe, Eddie Kingston, maybe Omega is no longer a trios champion by then. There's a couple of possibilities. There's a couple. But I wouldn't say the world title yet. Is what I'm getting. Or maybe Adam Cole is another guy for MJF down the line. I don't think he will have a shortage of feuds this year, that's for sure. We'll see. We'll see for Jack Perry. Ryan Cage versus Konosuke Takeshita. I mean, this was a very intriguing match. Simply Konosuke Takeshita. It is great to see international talent rise up within the ranks of, say, WWE or AEW. Konosuke, from DT in Japan, and now, come along this string of just doesn't have a bad match, in AEW. I mean, we've seen him versus Punk. We've seen him versus Hangman. We've seen him versus Moxley. See what I mean? We've seen him versus Bryan. Now we see him versus Cage, and then we're gonna see him versus MJF next week. So, I mean, this guy's a real stud. Brian Cage, the Machine. I really hope that AEW at least signs him to a Ring of Honor deal, because Brian Cage is a very good addition for AEW. People may say, well, he's not that very charismatic. He's a great wrestler at the end of the day. So, he definitely adds to the aura of the show, I think. So, but I don't think any of us are surprised how good this match turned out. So, after some stiff exchanges, Konosuke caught Cage for a Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. Pressed the feet by Cage, he landed a deadlift suplex, bringing Konosuke from the apron into the ring as they cut to break. In the middle of the picture-in-picture, Cage hit a scary-looking released German suplex on Konosuke for a near fall. Konosuke then followed up with a good combination of a lariat, and then making it. Brian Cage is no small guy, so for Konosuke, really shows his strength to some of the moves he did on Brian Cage here. He had deadlift German for a near fall, then a Liger Bomb for 2. Cage then followed up with a lariat of his own, Konosuke hit two, not one, but two brainbusters for near fall. Finally, first Konosuke hit a superplex, then followed up his big running knee for a win. Konosuke Takeshita gets his first real big win on Dynamite. That was a joy to see. Because again, we know how good he is. But at some point, he's got to get his W's. Get in the win column. On TV. And yeah. Much to be said. So we got the JS backstage. They announced that Ricky Starks, in order to get his hands on Chris Jericho again, Kate Starks is going to have to run the gauntlet. It's going to be the Garcia Guevara gauntlet. So, next week, Ricky Starks is going to have to go through Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and then either Sammy Guevara, or Dan Garcia, and then if he gets past all of them, then he will get Chris Jericho. So there we got. So curious how they'll book it, but we'll see. They had a little segment, a kind of basketball segment in a gym, or a basketball gym. The Elites. They challenged Top Flight and AR Fox to a trios titles match next week, which should be bananas. And walked Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy of the Firm. Wonder what's happened to Mark Quinn. Haven't seen him in a while. Of the Firm. And they made their case for a challenge on Rampage, which was today. But nonetheless, trios match before the big match next week. I mean, I'm a fan of... It's weird with the Firm because we saw the Guns just a while ago, or early in the show. Did not have Stokely out there. I mean, Ethan Page primarily with Stokely. We have not seen Big Bill and Lee Moriarty since that match with Jungle Hook, but yeah. Bryan Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher. This was a calculated, submission-based, methodical, to say the least, match. So, type of match where you have to have your patience and you have to really study the match. So, clear as day. Timothy Thatcher, he is as mean-scowled a wrestler as you'll get this day and age. I mean, the way he looks, He just looks like a savage with his beard and such. And his teeth, yeah. Anyway, so Bryan has tape on his shoulder. They're playing up that. So, played a key role in this match. And story was, well, that was pretty much the story. Could Timothy Thatcher break the arm of Bryan Danielson? He definitely didn't make it better, I'll say. Anyway, so gearing towards the end, the referee got knocked out. Okay, so MJF was going down to the rampway with the Dynamite Diamond Ring to lay out Bryan. But storms out is Konosuke Takeshita in a hoodie. Blast MJF and they start brawling towards the back. So, back to 1-on-1. And then Bryan, his bicycle knee to Thatcher for the win. And Bryan Danielson, undefeated through February. So, right after that, he's sticking with the stipulations put by MJF. We got a little thing of the Mogul affiliates. And we finally got a name of the third man in Swerve's group. The tattoo guy they are now calling Trench. So, Swerve talked about how he has a beef with the Rhodes family legacy because of the nickname Dust he gave Keith Lee. And since Dusty's not here, they gotta find another nepotism second generation talent to take out on Rampage, which left open Brian Pillman Jr. And so that's going to be a nice little match there between the two, Swerve and Brian Pillman Jr. Not bad, not bad. The Mogul affiliates kind of grow on me a little bit. A little bit. I mean, Swerve is great. Parker, trying to still fix the picture again. Think should be good. But anyways, Swerve is great. Parker, we know when you get compared to Brock Lesnar just because of how you look, that puts lots of expectations on you. But so far in this role, I dig it. Trench, still not seen this guy wrestle, so it's still incomplete for me. But the group is grow on me a little bit. Oh, I should note. Well, I already mentioned that will be MJF versus Konosuke next week after that brawl between the two, which led to the back. And Fury MJF clears it. And then same with MJF. He recruited Roosh to beat up and face Bryan Danielson next week. So we got Roosh versus Bryan. Bryan's really going through the gauntlet here. I mean, Konosuke Takeshita, Brian Cage, Timothy Thatcher, now Roosh. That's a damn solid core to have to go through. Which MJF is lining them up. Very good. Very good. Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. I mean, Red Velvet is improving. She's come much of a way since her debut with the company. She did get some offense in here. Kiera Hogan came down the ringside, tried to get involved, but not for long. And then Jade hit the Jade on Red Velvet for the win. Hooray, she's now 15-0. Okay, now she's 15-0. Now, the idea is to get the title off her sooner rather than later. Please. Ruby Soho. She checked on Britt Baker in the training room. And Britt was like, I find it bizarre that you're checking up on me now. And she's like, well, Ruby, you've known those girls a lot longer than I have. So which side are you on? So she and Jay Mayer said, yeah, she's fine. She's good. So yeah, which side is Ruby So on? That's certainly a question. Because she, of course, like Tony Storm and Saraya, formerly of WWE. That's where she came from. Now to go over this brutal main event. I mean, try my best, but this was chaotic to say the least. So, Joe came out first, and then Darby had a thumbtack covered hoodie, ran out to the ring. All of a sudden he started throwing his body into Joe in the corner. You know, act caution if you're gonna face Darby and an all holds barred match. I mean, crazy. So Joe got the advantage, took the jacket or hoodie off of Darby, got a table from underneath the ring, and what does Darby do? Darby hits his suicida, knocks the table into the face of Samoa Joe, caught, legitimately gashed him in his eyebrow. I mean, brutal looking cut. over the eye of Samoa Joe, and then right off the bat, because I'm guessing one of the legs or the tip of the table really caught Joe. Just add to the no holds barred field. So they were rolling into the crowd after Samoa Joe threw Darby into the steps that were set up, and Darby's back went over the barricade. Brutal. So as I mentioned, Joe was busted open. Eventually got by ringside, and then Darby was just getting thrown around pretty much at will. Joe threw him from the inside ring to the outside. There were chairs set up back to back. So the tips were facing up, or the heads were facing up. The pointy edges. So Darby was backdropped onto these heads of the chairs. Full force, I mean, just... Jeez. Flashbacks to Lance Archer for Jon Moxley Texas Death Match when Moxley was chokeslammed off on those. Jeez. So, Darby got the advantage again. He threw powder in Samoa Joe's face, blinding him. Hit a code red for a good near fall. And then Darby then hit a coffin or stunner lay out Joe, and then Darby, he wanted to do a coffin drop wearing the hoodie of the thumbtacks. However, he was having troubles with the hoodie, putting it on. And he still got some of it, but not all of it. As far as the hoodie, still at the coffin drop, but only for a 2 count. That hesitation they talked about. Key. And Joe's staying alive. So Darby went bananas. Got something to clip underneath the ring. So Darby exposed underneath the ring near the corner. Exposed the mats. Exposed the wood of the ring. Want to find some way to take out Joe and definitively end this match. So it looked like Darby was going for some sort of dive, maybe a coffin drop again on the Joe, but on the wood. Samoa Joe instinctively and smartly pushed Bryce Rensburg into the ropes, throwing Darby on the top rope or turnbuckle. Samoa Joe hits a avalanche brain or muscle buster onto Darby, onto the exposed ring area. 1, 2, 3. And the king of television reigns again. Samoa Joe, a 2-time TNT champion. Now, while it was a great and royal match, everyone has a right to have skepticism around the TNT title, because, despite banger matches or great matches, the last number of weeks. The TNT title has changed hands quite much as of late. And that's what kind of frustrates people. There hasn't been someone who has a long, lengthy reign in quite a bit. So, I mean, now with Wardlow coming back, which, by the way, he attacked Joe after match. Joe got out of the way, but nonetheless, it seems like we're gonna get a Wardlow versus Samoa Joe match, probably at Revolution, and then it's like Joe only having a month with the title because it's a month away. I mean, not only that, what are you going to do with, like I said earlier, what are you going to do to carry the momentum of Wardlow after the title to build him up where he should have been already? Is the question. The main question. But then if he doesn't, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, Wardlow is in such a weird situation now because he's already been the team's champion. He's not had much momentum. Wardlow is a prime candidate to take the title off MJF when MJF has a good enough reign with the title. And again, it's not gonna end till at least next year. At least. So I mean, what are you gonna do with Wardlow? Make him TNT champion again? And then, I mean, this whole cycle has been odd because you took the title off Wardlow at Full Gear, gave it to Joe. Joe was doing great, and then you took the title off Joe to give it to Darby to start the year. Then, to start the year, and then you give it back to Joe, only for Wardlow to come back. I mean, look, I love Joe, I love Darby, and I love Wardlow. But, yeah, this cycle for them three, I don't know. But Joe, we know, is great, and he's gonna, again, build heat for the title, and we'll see. I don't know. I'm not liking this for Wardlow. Or either of them. That's it. But we'll see. Anyways, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's all for the episode that was on Wednesday. But if you guys like this video, be sure to click that like button, leave a thumbs up, help out the video, help out the channel. But thank you guys all. I'm Angel, True in Love. I'll see you guys next week. Adios and peace.